Welcome to our podcast.
Hello, everyone. Can I ask you something? When was the last time you had a whole day without worrying about anything? Not 1 hour, not 10 minutes, a whole day. Most of us can't even remember. We wake up carrying yesterday. We spend today chasing tomorrow. And somewhere in between, we forget that this moment is the only place where life is actually happening. It's strange. We know how to charge our phones every night, but we rarely recharge our own hearts. Tonight isn't about pretending everything is perfect. It's about learning how to smile without waiting for a perfect life. Because maybe the happiest people are not the ones who have the easiest lives. Maybe they are simply the ones who stopped arguing with reality. Stay with me tonight. By the end of this conversation, I hope you'll close your eyes feeling a little lighter than when you pressed play. Positivity isn't waking up excited every morning. Sometimes positivity is simply brushing your teeth even when your heart feels heavy. It is making your bed after a bad dream. It is answering one message instead of disappearing from everyone. It is drinking one glass of water when your mind says nothing matters. Tiny actions are quiet promises. They whisper, "I'm still here." Most people think strength makes people smile. I think smiling creates strength. Not the smile you wear for strangers. The tiny smile that says, "I didn't give up today." There is a flower that grows through concrete. Nobody tells the concrete to become softer. The flower simply keeps growing. Maybe life isn't asking us to wait for easier days. Maybe life is asking us to become that flower. Thomas. The strongest people aren't loud. They don't announce their battles. Sometimes they are the person making breakfast while their heart is quietly breaking. Sometimes they are the person laughing with friends after crying alone. Sometimes they are you, still breathing, still trying, still believing that tomorrow deserves another chance. And honestly, that is already something beautiful. Sometimes I wonder if we misunderstand what a positive life really looks like. Maybe it isn't a life without storms. Maybe it's a life where you finally stop blaming the rain. Because rain has never apologized for falling. The wind has never explained why it changed direction. Nature simply keeps moving. Maybe we should too. There is something peaceful about accepting that not, everything needs to make sense today. Some answers arrive late. Some dreams take the long road. Some doors stay closed because another one is quietly opening, where we haven't looked yet. Life is funny. When we are children, we can't wait to grow up. When we become adults, we miss being children. We spend so much time wishing to be somewhere else that we forget to notice where we already are. Maybe happiness isn't hiding in another city, or another job, or another version of yourself. Maybe it has been waiting patiently inside this ordinary day. We just walked past it too quickly. Have you noticed how kind we are to flowers? We water them. We give them sunlight. We wait for them to bloom. But when it comes to ourselves, we expect instant results. One bad week, and we think we are failing. One mistake, and we question our worth. One rejection, and we believe the whole world has rejected us. If we treated flowers the way we sometimes treat ourselves, no garden would survive. Growth has always needed patience, so does healing. Not every quiet season is empty. Sometimes, life grows underground before anyone can see it. Roots don't compete with flowers. They simply do their job. Maybe this season of your life is asking you to grow roots instead of chasing applause. There is nothing wrong with being unseen for a while. The strongest foundations are usually invisible. Another thing I have learned is that peace is surprisingly quiet. Excitement makes a lot of noise. Success attracts attention, but peace whispers. It sounds like drinking tea without checking your phone. It sounds like taking a deep breath before answering. It sounds like saying, "That's enough for today." We often chase loud happiness and ignore quiet peace. But quiet peace lasts much longer. Sometimes we think we need a completely different life. Maybe we only need a different conversation with ourselves. Instead of saying, "I'm behind," what if we said, "I'm on my own path," instead of saying, "I'll never be enough"? What if we asked, "Enough for whom?" Sometimes the words we repeat become the walls we live inside. Choose your words carefully. Your heart is always listening. And here's something I hope you never forget. Your value has never depended on your busiest day or your biggest achievement. A candle doesn't become less valuable because nobody is watching it burn. Its purpose is still the same. Maybe your kindness has already changed someone's day without you knowing. Maybe your smile stopped another person from giving up. Maybe your presence is more important than your performance. Not everything meaningful receives applause. The moon never asks for permission to shine. Neither should your heart. If today felt heavy, that's okay. Heavy days don't last forever. Even winter quietly prepares for spring. Even the longest night eventually welcomes the morning. Life has a gentle way of reminding us that nothing stays the same forever. Not the pain, not the fear, not even the loneliness. Everything moves, everything changes, and maybe that's the most comforting thought of all. So tonight, before you fall asleep, don't ask yourself whether you were perfect. Ask yourself something much simpler. Did I keep going? Did I choose kindness at least once? Did I give myself one small reason to hope? If the answer is yes, then today was never wasted. Sometimes I think life is like carrying a glass of water. The glass is never the problem. The weight isn't impossible. But keep holding it for hours, and even the lightest glass begins to feel unbearable. Our thoughts work the same way. A single worry isn't what breaks us. It's refusing to put it down. Some people carry yesterday into today. Then they carry today into tomorrow. Years pass. The glass never leaves their hand. Maybe tonight is a good night to set it down. Not forever, just long enough to let your heart rest. Because even the strongest heart needs a quiet place to breathe. There is a tree that stands through every season. In spring, it blooms. In summer, it gives shade. In autumn, it lets go. In winter, it stands empty. Yet it never believes winter is the end of its story. It knows something we often forget. Losing leaves is not losing life. Maybe you've lost something recently. A dream, a relationship, a version of yourself. It hurts. Of course it hurts. But losing leaves doesn't mean your roots are gone. Sometimes life removes what you cannot carry into the next season. Not to punish you, to prepare you. I used to believe that confidence came from always knowing the right answer. Now I think confidence is much quieter. It says, I don't know what's coming, but I'll meet it anyway. That kind of courage doesn't make headlines. Nobody claps for it, yet it changes lives every single day. Because fear doesn't disappear before brave people move. They simply stop waiting for fear to leave. Another beautiful thing about life is that healing is rarely dramatic. Movies make healing look like one powerful speech. Real life is different. Healing looks like laughing a little louder than yesterday, sleeping a little better, thinking about the past a little less, smiling without forcing it. One day you realize that something which once broke your heart hasn't visited your mind all afternoon. You don't notice the exact moment you become stronger. Just like sunrise, darkness never asks permission to leave. Light simply arrives. Maybe your healing is happening the same way. Quietly, patiently, without asking for attention. Have you ever watched the ocean? Every wave reaches the shore. Every wave disappears. Then another one comes. The ocean never cries because one wave is gone. It trusts there will always be another. Life is full of endings. A conversation ends. A season ends. A chapter ends. Even sadness ends. The problem is that we often stare at the wave that disappeared, instead of noticing the next one already coming toward us. Hope isn't always loud. Sometimes hope is simply refusing to believe that your best days are already behind you. Sometimes it whispers, there is more. More laughter, more peace, more people to meet, more sunsets to watch, more reasons to smile that you haven't discovered yet. And maybe that is enough to keep walking. Don't compare your beginning to someone else's middle. Some flowers bloom after a few weeks. Some trees take years before giving fruit. Neither one is late. Nature never hurries. Yet everything arrives at the right time. Maybe your life isn't delayed. Maybe it is simply growing at the speed your soul needs. Tonight, if your mind begins listing everything that isn't perfect, gently interrupt it. Ask a different question. What is still beautiful? Maybe it's the quiet in this room. Maybe it's your heartbeat. Maybe it's the fact that after everything life has asked of you, you are still choosing kindness, still choosing hope, still choosing to begin again. That is not weakness. That is one of the strongest decisions a person can make. So when tomorrow arrives, don't promise yourself a perfect day. Promise yourself a gentle heart. Because a gentle heart survives places where a hard heart breaks. And perhaps the most positive thing you can do isn't to smile all the time. It's to trust that even on the days when you can't smile, life is still quietly working in your favor. One small moment, one deep breath, one ordinary miracle at a time. Before we say goodnight, I want to leave you with one final thought. You don't have to become a different person tomorrow. You don't have to wake up fearless. You don't have to have every answer. Just wake up, open the window, take one deep breath, and give life one more chance to surprise you. Because some of the most beautiful chapters don't begin with confidence. They begin with a quiet decision. I'll try again. If today was kind to you, hold on to the gratitude. If today was difficult, leave the weight here. You don't need to carry it into your dreams. The night was never meant to keep your worries. It was meant to help you rest. So let your thoughts become lighter. Let your shoulders relax. Let your heart remember that it has already survived so much. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are simply growing in ways that cannot always be seen. And one day, you'll look back and realize that these ordinary nights, the quiet conversations, the small moments of hope, the gentle reminders to keep going, we're quietly building a stronger, calmer, kinder version of you. Thank you for spending these peaceful moments with me. If this conversation brought even a little comfort to your heart, I hope you'll come back tomorrow night. Until then, be gentle with yourself, be patient with your journey, keep a little hope in your pocket, and never forget, the sun never rushes to rise, yet every morning, it fills the world with light. Maybe your light is arriving the same way. Slowly, quietly, beautifully. Sleep well. Take care of your heart. And I'll see you in our next conversation. Good night.